Good evening. We're still in the story of Noah and the ark. We are beginning in Genesis chapter 8. Remember, rains had fallen upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. And Noah and his wife and his 3 sons and their wives were all on the ark for 150 days with all of those animals. Kind of gives you just a moment to consider that when you are called to shelter in place, some situations are better than others. Starting in verse 1, God remembered Noah and all the beasts and all the cattle that were with him in the ark, and God made a wind blow over the earth, and the waters subsided. The fountains of the deep and the windows of the heavens were closed. The rain from the heavens was restrained, and the waters receded from the earth continually. At the end of 150 days, the waters had abated. And in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, the ark came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters continued to abate until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, the tops of the mountains were seen. At the end of 40 days, Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and sent forth a raven, and it went to and fro until the waters were dried up from the earth. Then he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters had subsided from the face of the earth, from the face of the ground. But the dove found no place to rest, to set her foot, and she returned to him to the ark, for the waters were still on the face of the whole earth. So he put forth his hand and took her and brought her into the ark with him. He waited another 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came back to him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth, a freshly plucked olive leaf. So Noah knew that the waters had subsided from the earth. Remember, the olive leaf or an olive branch is often a symbol of peace, and probably was a very welcome sign kind of in this story after being sequestered for so long, to see evidence of peace, of new life. Then he waited another 7 days and sent forth the dove, and she did not return to him anymore. In the 601st year, in the 1st month, the 1st day of the month, the waters were dried from off of the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. In the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dry. Then God said to Noah, "Go forth from the ark, you and your wife, and your sons wives with you. Bring forth with you every living thing that is with you of all flesh, birds and animals, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, that they may breed abundantly on the earth and be fruitful and multiply over the earth." So Noah went forth, and his sons and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, and every beast, every creeping thing, and every bird, everything that moves upon the earth went forth by families out of the ark. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and took of every clean animal and of every clean bird, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And when the Lord smelled the pleasing odor, the Lord said in his heart, "I will never again curse the ground because of man, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I ever destroy every living creature as I have done. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease." Now, was there an actual Noah and ark? Does your relationship with God depend on whether Noah was a literal historical character? To be honest, this seems like much more of an allegorical kind of story. there's a message in it for us. It talks about the wages of sin, and a new beginning comes from God. We receive new beginnings in our lives as well. And someday this pandemic will subside to the point where it will be safe again for us to go out and be in contact with one another. It'll be a new beginning for us. And I hope that we all know that, of course, God is not the source of this pandemic, but we can take a spiritual lesson. We can grow during the midst of it. I hope that we'll all learn what really is essential in life, what really matters. Each and every day, each and every moment, really, we have the opportunity of a new beginning, a way to refocus on what's really essential in our lives. I hope you have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.